Welcome to this episode of our program Arab Affairs. Today we will be speaking about terrorism, and Egypt is in war with terrorism. Egypt today is mourning, of course since Thursday, is mourning the death of brave soldiers who died, who lost their lives while defending their own country, the welfare of their own country. They safeguard the security of this country. They sacrifice their souls. They are sacrificing their souls every day, the armed forces and the security forces together. Today we are speaking about cowardice attacks that occurred in Sinai. It is cowardice because it always comes from the back. Today we're speaking a war that is launched on Egypt for no reason than that it is Egypt, that it is the cornerstone of this region, of the stability of this region. For that reason, Egypt is really paying dearly, and for that reason, we are mourning those soldiers, and we are in almost daily attacks from terrorists, radicalism, and evil plans that are orchestrated from external powers. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi condemned a series of terror attacks that killed dozens in Sinai, saying that Egypt is facing a war against the strongest secret organization of the last 2 centuries. Al-Sisi said that the attacks are the price that Egyptians are paying for fighting extremism and removing the terrorist Brotherhood organization from power in 2013. He added that had the Egyptians not gone against the Brotherhood, they would have been facing a far greater price, trying to avenge all those who died for the sake of this country. But today we are also speaking that if those terrorists want to really face this country, then they will have to be facing a 90 million population, because the 90 million population are standing behind their leadership. It's no more the mission of the armed forces or the security forces, but rather the mission of all Egyptians, and this is for sure. Before we start discussion, let's first have a quick look on the Arab news that took place during this week and come back for discussion.
The High Electoral Commission, headed by Councillor Ayman Abbas, will start receiving candidacy applications for parliamentary elections on the 8th of February. The Commission also said that campaigning for the first round of parliamentary elections will start on February 26th and end on the 20th of March. Campaigning for the second round of elections would begin on the 3rd of April and ends on the 24th of the same month. Israel and Hezbollah signaled on Thursday that the rare flare-up in fighting across the Israeli-Lebanese border was over after the Lebanese group killed 2 Israeli soldiers. Israel said that it had received a message from the UNIFIL, the UN peacekeeping force in Lebanon, that Hezbollah was backing away from further violence. Israeli Defense Minister Moshe Ya'alon termed Wednesday's Hezbollah attack as a revenge for the Israeli airstrike on January 18th in southern Syria that killed several Hezbollah members. Representatives of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad and opposition figures agreed at their talks on Thursday to join forces over the threat of terrorism in Syria, where Daesh militants insurgents have taken over wide swath of the country. Adopting a series of points that largely represent Russia's own position on the ongoing violence, the two sides also agreed to hold another round in Moscow, but no date was set. The majority of participants had a consensus over a series of points known as the Moscow Principles, which largely adhere to the talking points But Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov and other diplomats have tirelessly adhered to during the Syrian conflict. Kurdish fighters killed 22 militants around Kobani on Thursday, days after recapturing the Syrian town. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said that 19 Daesh militants had been killed in fighting against the Kurdish People's Protection Units in the hills surrounding Manaz to the west of Kobani. The observatory added that another 3 militants had been killed in fighting around villages to the east of Kobani, adding that the Kurdish forces had taken 1 Daesh militant.
Welcome back. Indeed, we are in war against terrorism, but this has been carrying on since years now. And it's no more, as we said at the very beginning, the mission of the armed forces who have been sacrificing their lives every day. Of course, we're speaking about the armed and the security forces. It's no more the mission of the leadership. It should be the mission of the whole Egyptian population. We have with us today for discussion Ambassador Yahya Negm, expert in the Middle East, and we thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And those cowardice attacks, we're not speaking about such cowardice attacks that took place in Sinai, but rather since the 4th anniversary of the 25th of January revolution, and how they wanted to slap our joy for commemorating such a revolution. You comment.
Yes. Well, first, nobody can stop the joy of the people celebrating the the anniversary of the 25th January revolution, because it's the voice of the people. It's millions of people who decided to go in this revolution to get rid of the old regimes, reviving Egypt, giving us a new breeze to come back to life, because we were dead under the regime of Mubarak. So nobody can stop the Egyptian people from celebrating or from feeling this joy. What happened is a very, as you said, cowardice try from coward people to stop, unfortunately, this celebration. We had this try from many other sides. All of them, they are conspirating against this revolution, against the will of the people, of the Egyptian people in Egypt. So I believe it's a failure. They will not succeed in this. The people are very insistent in looking for a better life, better future, because we cannot live in this vicious circle for a long time. We cannot go back to the old regime. We cannot go back to the terrorism epoch of the Muslim Brotherhood. We cannot go to the past anymore. It's failure of them, not of us. Nobody can imagine that we go to the past once again. We are looking for the future. We are looking for better life, very far from these terrorist groups, very far from Mubarak regimes and his oligarch group. So we are in the mainstream in Egypt. We are in the mainstream. Yes, our voice is not heard very well. Our voice is so calm and so quiet, yes, but